Did we just see the fall of one of the most powerful couples in the Gilded Age? The latest trailer for Season 3, Episode 7 drops a shocking moment that fans never expected. What looks like a divorce is about to shake New York's high society. A simple scene, a few powerful lines, and suddenly everything feels like it's about to collapse. If you blinked, you may have missed it. But don't worry, we didn't. Let's break down this explosive trailer and uncover what's really going on. The trailer opens with a quiet yet heavy tone. We see Bertha Russell standing at the top of a staircase, her face cold and unreadable. Her husband, George, is in his office, staring at what appears to be a legal document. The tension in their expressions is thick. There's no warmth between them. And then it happens. A voice, possibly Bertha's, says just one line. Then it's settled. It's calm. But that calmness hides a storm. Cut to a scene where Marian is seen whispering to Mrs. Astor, both women looking shocked. The scene is brief, but the body language tells a story. News has traveled fast, and it's not good. The screen then fades to black, and the next shot is even more dramatic. George walking out the door, suitcase in hand, while a butler looks away, pretending not to see. This visual speaks louder than any dialogue could. It hints at a real separation. And not just an argument. Fans online are already in chaos, with many asking the same thing: are Bertha and George really getting divorced? The Gilded Age has always played with power, status, and reputation. A divorce in this world isn't just personal, it's political. And if this split is real, it could tear apart more than just a marriage. But let's not jump too quickly. Some viewers think this scene may be a misdirect. One theory suggests the couple is planning something together and the split is fake, meant to manipulate high society or gain leverage. After all, Bertha has always been strategic. She doesn't move without a plan. Could this be one of them? There's also the timing to consider. Episode 7 is known for being the turning point in each season, and this trailer follows that pattern perfectly. Past seasons have always built tension quietly until Episode 7 hits like a hammer. This time, it seems the writers are aiming even higher by threatening one of the most stable relationships in the show. And let's talk about the editing. The trailer is sharp and fast, leaving viewers with more questions than answers. There are no full conversations, no clear timeline, just short clips. A tear sliding down Bertha's cheek, George's hand clenching into a fist, and Marian's worried face. It's a masterclass in building suspense. Even the music is telling. The trailer's background score starts soft, with light piano, but quickly shifts into low strings, dark, brooding, full of dread. That shift happens right as Bertha says, "Then it's settled." The moment is framed perfectly, making it feel like a final decision, not an argument left open. And while we're focused on George and Bertha, let's not ignore the subtle shot of Larry Russell, George's son, watching his father leave. His face is confused, like he doesn't know whose side to be on. That moment could be a clue that this separation will not only impact the couple but ripple through the family's future, wealth, and legacy. The trailer ends with silence, no loud music, no dramatic quote. Just George's footsteps echoing down the hallway. That choice alone says more than words. It gives weight to the idea that what's coming in Episode 7 isn't just emotional, it's historic. So what's the truth? Is the Russell marriage really over? Or is this just another smart move in a much larger game? One thing's for sure, this trailer has set the stage for something big, and fans are already holding their breath. Before this trailer ever hinted at a divorce, the cracks in the Russell marriage were already showing, but not everyone noticed. On the surface, Bertha and George Russell have always seemed unstoppable, rich, powerful, and perfectly matched. But if we look back closely at Season 3 Episodes 1 through 6, the warning signs have been quietly building, like steam in a pressure cooker. From the very first episode of this season, Bertha has been laser-focused on breaking into the highest circles of New York society. Her obsession with being accepted by the old money elite has pushed her to make bold moves, some brilliant, some reckless. George, on the other hand, has started pulling away from these ambitions. He's been more interested in expanding his railroad empire and protecting his name than playing society games. This difference in goals has created growing tension between them. In Episode 3, There was a quiet but important moment at a dinner party. George confronted Bertha about her spending, questioning whether her grand events and over-the-top donations were worth it. Bertha didn't argue loudly, but her silence spoke volumes. That was the first time we saw a real divide. George, always the businessman, seemed tired of the cost, financial and emotional, of Bertha's social war. By episode 4, their communication had nearly vanished. Bertha was moving ahead with her opera house plans without consulting George. She even took meetings alone, something she never used to do. Meanwhile, George was dealing with strikes and lawsuits in his business world, and Bertha offered little support. It felt like they were living two separate lives under one luxurious roof, and the emotional distance between them kept growing. Then came episode 5, when rumors began spreading that Bertha might have shared confidential information with a rival family just to gain favor with Mrs. Astor. George found out, and though the show never confirms the truth, his reaction walking out of a dinner, barely looking at her, told us all we needed to know. Trust had been broken, and in the Gilded Age, where image and control are everything, trust is more valuable than gold. By episode 6, Bertha hosted a massive gala, the most expensive one of the season. It should have been a celebration, but George looked like a ghost during the whole event. He smiled for the cameras, nodded politely to guests, but his eyes weren't there. And Bertha? She noticed. You could see it in the way she kept glancing at him, trying to read his thoughts but not daring to ask. It was during that episode that Larry, George, and Bertha's son overheard a late-night argument. Only one line was clear: "You've made your choice, Bertha." The next morning, George left the house early and didn't return until the next day. That was the final moment before the trailer picks up, suggesting we're now heading straight into the aftermath. So, what does all this mean? It means the trailer isn't showing a sudden twist. It's the result of 6 episodes of rising pressure, broken trust, and silent battles. The divorce line in the trailer isn't just drama, it's the release of everything Bertha and George have been holding back, and the real tragedy. It didn't have to be this way. If they had just talked, maybe things would have been different. But in a world where power matters more than partnership, where appearances are everything, love is often the first thing lost. Now, with episode 7 just around the corner, the stage is fully set. The grand house, once a symbol of victory, may now be the site of a quiet war. And as viewers, we're not just watching a marriage fall apart, we're watching the fall of an empire built on pride, ambition, and silence. It's not always the loud moments that leave the biggest scars. Sometimes it's the silence in a room, the pause in a sentence, the glance that lasts a little too long. The new Gilded Age Season 3 Episode 7 trailer doesn't throw the drama in your face, it whispers it. And if you watch closely, every scene reveals a secret. Let's go frame by frame, moment by moment, and unpack what this trailer is really telling us. It opens with a wide shot of the Russell mansion, grand, golden, and quiet. But this time, the light feels colder. The curtains are drawn. The hall feels empty. We see Bertha alone in the drawing room, standing near a lit fireplace. Her eyes are locked on a small envelope in her hand. That envelope, fans believe, is the key. It could be legal papers, maybe even a separation notice. She doesn't open it. She just stares at it like she already knows what's inside. Cut to George. He's in his office downtown, but it's not business as usual. He's pacing, not reading documents, not speaking to anyone, just pacing. His coat is still on. The camera lingers on his face. He's tired, worn down, like a man carrying the weight of more than just a railroad empire. This isn't the same George Russell who once commanded rooms with a single stare. Something inside him has shifted. The next scene is shorter but even more telling. Larry Russell stands near the stairs, watching his parents pass each other in the hallway. They don't speak. Bertha doesn't even look at George. He walks past her like she's invisible. Larry's confused, his eyes jumping from one parent to the other. This moment isn't about the fight, it's about the cold distance that's replaced their once fiery connection. Then comes the biggest clue. A private conversation between Mrs. Astor and Marian. It's filmed over the shoulder, making it feel secretive. Marian asks, "Is it true?" And Mrs. Astor answers with a sigh, "I didn't believe it at first either. What are they talking about? Most likely, the news that's spreading fast. Bertha and George may be ending their marriage. And if Mrs. Astor knows, the entire elite circle knows. Next, we see a flash of Bertha alone in her bedroom. She's not crying, but she looks broken. Her hand reaches for the envelope again, now resting on her vanity. She lifts it, hesitates, and then places it in the fire. The flames consume it. The scene is layered. Does she reject the idea of divorce? Or is she burning something she never wanted to read in the first place? There's also a blink and you'll miss it scene at the opera house. Bertha is standing next to a group of influential women. She smiles, but it's forced. Behind her, George enters the room, then turns right back around. The women notice. The whispering begins. The message is clear, word is spreading, and Bertha knows her social standing is under threat. And finally, the most gut-wrenching moment. George at the train station. He's alone. No luggage this time. Just a coat and a stare. A porter asks, "Just you, sir?" And George answers, "Yes, just me." It's the first line we hear from him in the whole trailer, and it hits hard. That one line feels like the confirmation fans were dreading. The trailer ends not with a dramatic cliffhanger, but with silence. Just the image of two figures standing far apart in a ballroom. One is Bertha, one is George. The camera doesn't zoom in. It zooms out, slowly, as if to show us just how far they've drifted from each other. What makes this trailer so powerful isn't what's said, it's what's not said. It's in the quiet, the stillness, the frozen expressions. Every frame is packed with meaning, layered with heartbreak, and dripping with unspoken truths. This isn't just a divorce twist. It's the slow unraveling of a golden empire, and it's happening right before our eyes. One broken marriage. That's all it takes to crack the golden surface of New York's high society. If Bertha and George Russell truly go through with this split, it won't just be the end of a relationship, it could be the earthquake that topples everything they've built. And in a world ruled by appearances, money, and marriage alliances, even the smallest crack can swallow entire families whole. Let's start with Bertha. She's not just a wife, she's a strategist. Her entire rise through the social ranks was built on precision. Every ball, every dress, every word spoken at a dinner party was a move in her silent war for power. She didn't just want acceptance, she demanded respect. And the one thing that gave her that edge, her stable, powerful husband. George Russell was her anchor. Without him, Bertha may be seen as vulnerable, less untouchable. The same women who once envied her might now circle like wolves, ready to tear her down. Not because they care, but because society loves a fall from grace. And then there's George. He's no fool. Business is war, and he's won many battles. But society? That was always Bertha's world. If he walks away from the marriage, he risks losing more than a partner. He risks losing the support system that helped him expand his empire into elite spaces. Suddenly, doors may close. Invitations may stop coming. His name, once feared in boardrooms and admired in ballrooms, might start to fade, but the impact won't stop at just them. Their son, Larry, has finally started finding his place both in society and in business. He's been trying to balance old money expectations with his parents' legacy. But now, with rumors flying and loyalties being tested, Larry might find himself forced to choose sides. And no matter which side he picks, someone loses. Other families will feel the ripple too. Remember, the Russells weren't just rich, they were reshaping the very rules of society. Their presence made the old money families uncomfortable, even afraid. Bertha challenged Mrs. Astor. George outplayed railroad giants. A public divorce could be the opening their enemies have been waiting for. It could give the Van Ryns and the other elite families the perfect excuse to push the Russells out quietly, coldly, completely. And let's not forget the servants, the staff, the people working behind the scenes. They've always known more than they let on. Gossip travels fast downstairs, and if the staff senses instability, their loyalty may shift. Secrets might start to leak. And in a house where reputation is everything, that could be fatal. There's also the media. In the Gilded Age, newspapers were hungry for scandal. A story like this, a power couple torn apart, would be gold. The press might spin rumors into headlines. What starts as whispers could become public humiliation. Bertha's carefully curated image could shatter overnight. George's business credibility might suffer, too. After all, if he can't keep his home together, how can investors trust him to manage an empire? And while viewers may think this twist is just emotional, it's much more. In this world, marriages are alliances. They decide who wins, who rises, and who falls. A divorce between the Russells could trigger new rivalries, create unexpected partnerships, and shift the entire balance of power. So what happens next? Will Bertha fight to hold her position without George? Will George rebuild a life away from the glittering halls of society? Or is this all just a strategic play, part of a bigger move we haven't seen yet? One thing is certain: the Gilded Age will never be the same after episode 7. The cracks in the golden surface are spreading fast. And when the dust finally settles, the world of pearls, power, and pride may be left in pieces.